Yo, this video got pretty heated.
Any of that stuff. It's something.
I'm sorry. I'm getting lost. It just feels like word salad.
Word salad,
like,
yeah,
100%. On about all these different things, and I can't really.
You say nothing.
Are you a Christian, Melanie? Are you a Christian?
It's just.
Are you a Christian?
Talking about all this stuff, and it really there's no context.
Melanie, are you a Christian?
Like Kamala, there's no
Melanie,
policy.
are you a Christian?
It's just feel good language.
But let's talk about it here on All Things Theology. Cue my theme music.
All things theology, we chop it up properly, without an apology. Gotta get that theology to God, hollow be, cause this is how we do it at All Things Theology.
Yo, grace and peace. Welcome back to an episode of All Things Theology, where this is your host, K-Dub. Man, what's going on with D1, man? We gotta talk about it. We got to get right into it. Recently, he was on the Hardly Initiated podcast talking about the subject of abortion. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what could go wrong with a Christian talking about abortion? Don't they all believe it's wrong? Well, let's talk about it here. Let's get into it.
In the Bible, there is a God named Moloch, lowercase g. Moloch is spoken about in the Old Testament, Old Covenant, and also in the New Testament.
So first they're playing this clip, and then they're going to get people's responses to it. So that's why Tiffany's on there. We're not going to say too much about her.
New Covenant. He's talked about in both covenants. Moloch was the god in the Bible that was assigned to kill your children as a sacrifice. Maybe you wanted more money. Maybe you wanted love. Maybe you wanted fame or fortune. You sacrificed this child. Well, you may say, well, Tiffany, I'm not doing it for this. Well, if you said I can't afford to have this baby, and you had an abortion, you sacrificed it for the money. If you say my career's really taken off and I can't really use a baby, you have now sacrificed your child for fame, influence, and to be well known. You did the same thing that they did in the Bible. Nothing is different. With that being said, there was always a consequence to the action.
All right, let's pause it right there. This is important. Okay, this is very important because what essentially Tiffany is saying that most abortions are happening because people are selfishly just having casual sex, and they're just having using abortions as birth control. Whereas I'm hearing a lot of arguments where people say, no. What if I'm raped? I don't want to have the baby of someone who rapes me. No. What if it's between me and the life of my child? You can't take abortions away.
Also, it's my body, my choice.
It's my body, it's my choice. I actually pulled some studies just to get some context on this confirmation from this conversation. A 2004 study from Gudemacher, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Institute found that approximately 4% of women cited health concerns, either their own or the fetuses, as the primary reason for seeking an abortion. So it's about 4%. Wasn't a huge amount. And the CDC reported that in 2019, 0.2% of women obtaining an abortion cited rape as the primary reason. And 0.3 cited incest. So it's interesting. A lot of these issues that's brought up is no really data to support that that's happening in large numbers. But what I want to talk about is just our abortions. Is it a healthcare issue with our women, or is it just a form of birth control now in our society? And I'll start here with you, Ashley, since I know you have limited time.
Well, we started this conversation saying that morals weren't going to be a determining factor, but often when we then enter the conversation of abortion, it's the first thing that people lead with.
Yeah, because this is a moral issue. How are we going to treat humans inside of the womb, right? Unless you're going to deny that, which is very interesting. Hey, maybe she'd like to have a conversation. I don't know if she claims to be a Christian or not, but obviously I know that D1 does, and the lady below D1, because they have a pretty heated exchange here in a second. But I wanted to review this lady's comments because I thought they were interesting as well.
I like to be consistent. I am a proponent for pro-choice, that it is a woman's right to choose, and that no person should have any say over any person's body, not a man's body. And
I always like to say, choose what? What is the woman choosing? And we get down to terminate the life of the child, which by virtue, if you admit that, you'd have to say, well, then therefore the mother doesn't have the right over another person's body, right? You just use basic logic. What they're saying, a woman can do whatever she wants with her body. Well, she's not doing whatever she wants with her body. She's doing whatever she wants with someone else's body. Just to hear the talk is just quite amazing to hear how people can literally rationalize murdering their child or someone else's child, right? Just disgusting.
not a woman's body. And that's, it is a form of access to care. And we have seen since
access to care for who?
Roe v. Wade was overturned in 2020, that the amount of miscarriages that have led to women not being able to have children in the future because of the...
Go look up statistics that people who get abortions are actually like twice as likely to never to have a child and more at risk for miscarriage. I mean, it's she wants to say, bring up these things. It's actually abortion that does this way more than, well, I mean, obviously, you know, not being able to hinder your child is actually a good thing, right? But she's going to say something very interesting. I definitely wanted to provide some commentary on.
1 in 30 women live in a state with an abortion ban. It is a form of healthcare. It is a form of...
it needs to be more. Like, no woman should be able to go and do that to their child. Nobody.
That it needs to be accessible to people. So I am fundamentally in support of a woman's rights to choose. And you make your personal choice what is right for you. We also know the story of Amber Thurman, that she was beginning to have a miscarriage. And Amber, a Black woman from Georgia, is no longer with us because she had to travel across state lines. She couldn't get access to care. It's also putting people, physicians.
This story has been debunked so many times. It's shameful that it's continuing to being spread. And shout out to the young lady at the bottom right here who ate that story up. I mean, they heavily refuted and debunked that because it's not true. Let me actually share what happened to Amber Thurman. Thurman pursued an abortion shortly after the Dobbs decision came down and Georgia's law prohibiting induced abortion after 6 weeks gestation took effect. Hospital records obtained by the outlet confirmed Thurman was approximately 9 weeks pregnant with twins when she was given abortion agent drugs at a clinic in North Carolina. She took the abortion agent in the it's called misoprostol the next day, right? She took it the next day. On the evening of August 18th, 2022, several days after her North Carolina appointment, Thurman presented at the hospital with bleeding and signs of severe infection due to retained pregnancy tissue, or what is medically called retained products of conception. So essentially, to put it straightforward, she died of side effects of an abortion, which is very ironic, right? You know, obviously her child died, her and the child died in that. But it wasn't because of abortion or people, just pro-life laws. That's what people want to sway this as. If she died, if she was allowed to get an abortion, then she would have been okay. Well, that's how she died. Ironically enough, very tragic story overall, right? I mean, a baby died because the mother tried to kill her, and then as a result, she died because of the infection of the abortion. Just stories that actually don't get told like that, right? Hey, you're not in Planned Parenthood while they talk to you and say, hey, you could die as a result of this, right? They don't tell that part of the stories, right?
In this predicament, when their patients come in to seek health care, to see what's happening to them, they are in a state like Texas at risk of facing criminal prosecution for potentially offering care. So a lot of the consequences that people have warned about would happen if Roe has been overturned, we are seeing them come to life. Melanie is right. Obama said that he was going to codify Roe. We understand you need to have a 60 vote threshold. And it is very hard to codify Roe when that was still the law of the land. Many people are disappointed that he didn't do that. But the case of the matter is that Donald Trump overturned Roe. And to D1's point, is he is talking out of two sides of his mouth on this issue. He knows that it is extremely polarizing for women, white women.
Now, I want you to hear, she appeals to D1, who is a Christian rapper, just for those who don't know. But there's been some interesting dialogue with D1. Go and listen to the podcast he did with Whitlock. It was terrible. I mean, I didn't hear much Christian views, but notice she's appealing to D1 for her justification for abortion. And D1's like, yep. It's like, yeah, much more will be said here in a second.
Historically have voted more Republican leaning. But this election, we are seeing this massive gender gap, because to have a constitutional right taken away from you is gutting. And so we'll see tomorrow, but we do believe that a lot of women are leaning towards Harris, independent Republican women.
Oh, by the way, this was before the election, and so they're going to be disappointed as well for a white. Sorry, hold on, we don't say white here. The Caucasian women, right? And so, yeah, Caucasian women still voted in favor of Trump, right?
Because of the decision of Roe v. Wade being overturned, and that is also why we know in 2020, when so many Republicans predicted a red wave would come, it didn't happen because people were so frustrated. So I think it should be your own personal decision with you, your partner, and your doctor. And no one on this call should really have any say of what I do in my personal life.
Well, then why are you here? If it's just a matter of what you should do, why are you here talking about it? I mean, I don't, why are you involving everybody else, right? So it just doesn't make any sense. I hate when people say, well, it's just my decision what I do. Well, you're telling me about it. I mean, so don't get mad when I tell you what I think about an issue if you're coming to me talking about it, right? I never got that argument. But next, we're going to get into D1's going to have a lot of opinions on this matter, so we want to talk about it. It got a little heated, so let's talk about it.
For sure. I think when Anthony started out, he made a good point that I've been holding on to about. He was saying that, he's not Christian because he feels like, there's a lot of flip-flopping on this issue. And
now, Anthony is the older gentleman in the top right corner, the peppered beard, right? He says, hey, I'm not Christian. One of the issues why he says he's not Christian is because so many Christians are okay with abortion. They kind of give contradictory issues. And it's like, man, I wish I could talk to Anthony, man. I wish I really could, because that's saddening to me. But D1 is not going to make his kind of lack of trust in Christianity or anything any better, because he's going to get some terrible answers and they're going to eat him up for it. So watch this.
A lot of hypocritical dialogue around this issue inside of Christianity. And I agree, because I think that the problem with a lot of Christians when it comes to abortion is people want to try to legislate morality. And you can't legislate morality.
I mean, you literally can. You literally can. Don't steal. We have laws against that, right? And even Anthony's kind of confused, like, what do you mean you can't legislate morality? Every law we have is literally based on some kind of moral ethic. You can. Now, will people follow it? That's another issue. But you literally can legislate morality, right? We have tons of laws based on moral ethics. So I think this is a weak answer.
Everyone who is on here trying to talk about, hey, abortion is something that people are just running to, and if they got easy access to it, they're going to do it.
Yes.
Like, it's still a decision that they're making. And if people, as Christians, we have to not be so susceptible to saying, we just feel like abortion is the problem, because prior to abortion, oftentimes was premarital sex. But I don't hear anyone talking about fornication being the issue.
No. How dare you?
Both are problems, but there's literally a movement harming innocent people, right? Fornication is an issue, and the church has spoken about this issue for long time, right? So, okay, if you want to hear me talk about fornication, it's evil. But harming children is worse. I mean, literally ending some innocent person's life, they can't fight back, right? I mean, that is an extreme evil. There are categories of sin even in the Bible, right? The Bible talks about this. There's sin to death, and sometimes there's sins not to death, right? Not that you should wish for either one, but the Bible categorizes sin. But D1 is deflecting on the issue. It's going to get worse.
Need to deal with. That's a matter of the heart. You feel me? That's a decision that people make that leads to them saying, oh, this casual sex led to where I'm having an abortion. And people tend to want to run to the legislation as the solution.
And let me just say this. Casual sex is not why they got an abortion. They have murder in their heart is why they got an abortion. There's tons of people who don't do that. They bear the responsibility once they have a child. My mother being one of them, had me when she was 17 years old. Praise God for her. She didn't get that. And there's millions of women, same story. So that's actually not the reason. That's an excuse, but it's not the reason.
For something that's really a matter of the heart. And when we think about the Jesus that we serve, Jesus was about love. Jesus wasn't about, think about God. God being omnipotent, omnipresent, and God creating us, right? If God wanted to, he could have saved himself a lot of headache and a lot of hurt by saying, I'm not going to give them free will. I'm not going to allow them to do what they want to do in life. I'm not going to allow them to make choices on a daily basis. I'm going to just create them, but they have to basically be robots the way I want them to be. But God allows us this free will. And with that being said, we think about that and it's like, okay, if God has given us free will, God is showing us that it's not about do the right thing according to the fact that I'm making you do it all the time. It's I want your heart to be to where even if you have the choice to sin on a daily basis, your love and admiration and surrendering of your free will to me, to my will, is what you want to push forward with. So that's the God that we serve. And this is as a Christian, me speaking. And ironically, right before this, I just posted some on my Instagram page. And
I'm confused on that argument. It sounds like he's saying you should allow for someone to, let me help his art. It sounds like he's trying to say, well, yeah, you want them to do it from the heart, obviously, but he's saying you should have both choices available. Let me just say this. God has never permitted any choice to sin. Never. Again, a ability to do a sin doesn't mean God is like, hey, go ahead. I'm okay with it. No, this is a ridiculous argument he just made.
It was something that felt like a breath of fresh air in this super contentious time of election season, even in the Christian community where a lot of Christians are at war with one another. A lot of people are just looking to get mad at another Christian. Like, wait, you're voting for this person? That means you're for killing babies. And
now he's trying to justify why he was voting and caping for Kamala the whole election cycle. I mean, he's like, and the very things that you're voting for killing babies. Well, yeah, and then you just literally gave someone permission or permissibleness to do it if that's what they want to do. I mean, you were siding with the chick earlier. We're siding with her pro-choice position earlier. So this is just strange.
It's like, let's be honest. Neither candidate is running on an agenda to say, hey, we want to totally completely ban abortion, period. Like abortion.
That's true. That is true. But one side is saying at least there needs to be some restrictions. Now, I disagree with that position too. I say we need to have there should be no access to it. That's my position. Now, what about rape? We can deal with those conundrums, but let's start off with preserving the life of the child. And then if there is some, a woman gets pregnant through rape or something like that, well, let's go to help this woman rather than just saying, let's kill your baby. Because look, she still got issues of just got raped, right? I mean, that it doesn't actually solve the crime, the sin that was done against her. And she's still a mother. She's just now a mother of a dead child. I actually think that's the most inhumane thing you can do, because she ain't getting no help for her. She just saying, well, we'll take care of that baby for you. That's terrible reasoning, but yeah.
At any stage or any level is wrong. That's simply not a fact. But what I'm wanting all Christians, anyone who is a believer, and that's why I respect what Anthony said earlier, because he's like, yo, I don't identify as Christian, so this might not apply to him. But this pastor named Brian Zahn, he wrote something called the Christian Voter's Guide.
Now, this is why you should actually look up people you quote. Don't go around quoting anybody and everybody, because Brian Zahn is a heretic. It's Zahn, by the way, Brian Zahn. He denies penal substitutionary atonement of the cross. Yeah, he does. He says it's divine child abuse that Jesus would die for our sins. He calls that divine child abuse. This is the person you want to be quoting to justify your position. Calls himself an optimistic universalist. Some have stated that he believes that unbelievers will go to heaven by basically like living some kind of virtuous good life. He's pro LGBT. Brian Zahn is problematic. Very, very problematic. It's not the person you want to be quoting to justify your position on abortion, or why you're voting for people who are saying there should be no restrictions when it comes to this issue.
Because there's no way that Christians should start.
But I'm going to let you listen to all of this uninterrupted of him quoting this and see if you understand the salient issues, because it's going to cause quite a stir.
They're at war with each other and beefed out behind, you voted for this candidate, I voted for this candidate. Although we serving the same Jesus, we can't coexist anymore. It shouldn't be like that. And I want to read y'all what he said for the Christian Voters Guide. This is extremely, extremely powerful. This is amazing. He said, number one, the political process, while necessary, has little to do with how God is saving the world. Number two, the fate of the kingdom of God does not depend upon political contests. Number three, don't be naive. Political parties are more interested in Christian votes than they are in Christian values. Number four, the bottom line for political parties is power. The bottom line for a Christian is love, and therein lies the rub. Number five, while in pursuit of the ring of power, you are not permitted to abandon the Sermon on the Mount. Number six, if your political passion makes it hard for you to love your neighbor as yourself, you need to turn it down a notch. Number seven, your task is to bring the salt of Christian civility to an ugly and acrimonious political process. Number eight, to dismember the body of Christ over politics is a grievous sin. Number nine, exercise your liberty to vote, your conscience and conviction, while accepting that other Christians will do the same and vote differently than you. And finally, number 10, it's more important that your soul be filled with love than it is for your political team to win the game. And that right there,
now they was not feeling it. You can tell the dude, the older male, and her, they not feeling it. And watch what's about to happen.
Christian, that's something that really is important to make sure that we don't allow this process to make us feel like if you voting for this person, you're not Christian, or if you voting for this person, you don't love God the same way I love God, because that means that you're for killing babies, or you're for you don't like this race, or any of that stuff. It's something.
I'm sorry. I'm getting lost. Yeah. It just feels like word salad.
Word salad, yeah, 100%.
On about all these different things, and I can't really nail down what you're
say nothing.
Are you a Christian, Melanie? Are you a Christian?
Yeah, it was a lot of word salad. Like, how does that really address the salient issues about pro-choice or pro-life? You're just pretty much reading Brian Zahn, just saying don't condemn anybody for voting how they vote. Though that doesn't address the issue at hand. I mean, let's take the voting aspect of, let's address the issue. So I got to agree with the sister and the brother at the top about this is just word salad, but getting a little contentious.
It's just,
are you a Christian?
Talking about all this stuff, and it really, there's no concrete
Melanie,
point.
Are you
it's
a
like
Christian?
Kamala. There's no
Melanie,
policy.
Are you a Christian?
It's just feel
Melanie,
good language.
Melanie, are you a Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian, born and raised, went to Christian school, went to Christian college. Like,
and that was word.
This is why.
And that was word.
Hold on. To do with any of this. Everything that you said was some pastor giving word salad points that, in my opinion, really didn't nail down anything. Like this move the conversation ahead.
That's the problem.
It's not a problem.
That's the problem.
What you just said. Does anybody even understand one point of his? Could anybody repeat back what he said, or does it sound like Kamala and one of her word salad speeches?
That's the problem. Y'all, listen, some of y'all, unfortunately, have turned this political race and these political parties and these candidates into idols. To the point where...
What?
No. How dare you?
She just said your point don't make sense, and he said you got an idol. Like, bro, what? What? Bro, you is not making no sense. None of what you read was actually essential to the conversation. Like, you guys, you could have not read what you said and it wouldn't have made any difference. Matter of fact, it just muddied the issue. You're just reading some guy, Brian Zahn, who's just saying, no matter what you vote, whatever. Right? Again, to me, it's not even about the voting issue, about the issue at hand. But watch this.
Y'all mentioned Trump more than y'all mentioned Jesus.
Wait, no, it's not even.
Come on, bro. What? They ain't mentioned Trump once. This is nonsense.
No, I don't.
It's not even about that.
Generalities about everybody else. You seem to want to judge everybody else's Christianity and their religious walk. That is not your place. Other people where their walk is, or where their heart is, or that they see Trump as Jesus. Let's get to some real policy points and not this touchy-feely spiritual word salad that you're putting out there. It makes no sense. It's not moving the needle. Let's move on.
Baby, my spirit is irritating your demons. That's the problem.
Nah, you but see, look, but look.
No, you're demon. You're demon.
Melanie, hold on.
It's a bad joke. So he said, my spirit is, pretty much interrupting your demon. Now she has a demon is a doctor of ministry, but it sounds like a demon, like demon and demon sounds the same. So he knew what he was doing. Yeah, so apparently this lady has a doctorate in Christian ministry. Okay, I don't know. Okay. And so he's trying to make a joke about that. Bad timing, bad joke. It obviously sounds like that because, of course, they got offended. So bad joke, right? And so he said, no, demon, right? Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
That's the problem. Okay. Literally.
Wait.
I'm literally saying how Christians need to stick together even amidst this. Okay. And the first thing come out your mouth is word salad. That just don't even.
Here's the issue I think that they're trying to convey. I don't stick together with someone who's okay with pro-choice. I mean, to me, you need to be evangelized. Yes, that's my position.
What is word salad? I can keep it real. Do you not want me to tell you truth, or do you want me?
And here's the thing, because it's not just the Christian. The man up top ain't a Christian. And he's like, that's word salad to me, right?
Let's actually. I want to get to. Hold on, wait. Let's actually get to. Let's get to ABL.
What's biblical about what you just said, baby? What's biblical about what you just said?
I don't listen. This is not a debate about my spirituality, my Christianity. These are about the points. You are taking it to a place where you've made things personal. You're asking people personal questions that are none of your business, and it has nothing to do with the political debate. Let us move on. This is not how you conduct something. And you keep making personal judgments about people that you do not know. This is not productive.
What judgment?
Hold on, wait. Hold tight.
No, it's just that it was just he's so long-winded with this thing, and I could not land down anything that he was saying.
Man, welcome to what it feels like to listen to Donald Trump.
Oh man,
run for political.
So hold on, so
yeah, man, D1 man, you need to stay out of these spaces because I've heard multiple times when it comes to engaging. Go watch the Whitlock podcast. It's the same thing. Why D1? Why are you taking the position of pro-choice? I mean, the girl that was pro-choice, y'all siding together. Like, come on, bro. D1, you got exposed in this one, man. Man, look, a lot of these Christian rappers, man, ain't really about that, man. Ain't really about that. Hope you guys enjoyed my commentary, though. Until the next time, grace and peace. Oh, grace and peace. Thank you for watching another episode of All Things Theology. If you enjoyed what you heard today, go on and give me a like. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. I promise to give you weekly lives, videos, interactions, exposing false teachers, sharing with you, the viewer, my theological beliefs, things about the culture, and the Bible. So if you're here for that, come on and join us. Also, if you would like to support this channel financially, you can do so by becoming a Patreon member or a YouTube member. Links are in the description below. You can see content before it drops. You can also have Q&A sessions with also other Patreon members, YouTube members as well. So if you would like that, hit the description link in below.